Quick government risk disclaimer: trading is risky. The information that you are going to receive in this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. This video is intended to teach you guys about prop firm trading and how you can potentially get funded and become a better trader in the prop firm industry. All right, so let's get straight into this video, you guys. I just want to show you guys my E8 1 account. I do have a E8 step 1 account, as you guys can see on the thumbnail and the title and everything else if you've been keeping up, right? And today I did suffer a loss, right? I suffered a loss. Where's my P&L for the day? Is my P&L on here? All right, I'm still trying to work on using this because normally I use Trade Locker on my cell phone, right? So essentially I lost about 669 today, 669 bucks, and took some just really big losses, you know. Just did everything wrong today. I was over leveraging. I was trading in the wrong time, right? I was trading in the Asian session. Got smacked in the Asian session. Got smacked in the London session. Got smacked in the New York session, right? I mean, I just pretty much couldn't do anything right today. And that eventually sent me spiraling out of control. And this is one of the top reasons why it is so important to follow your system and be disciplined. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate. Drop a comment down below if you feel the same way. Like, when you break a lot of your rules, that's when you end up spiraling and blowing accounts and just losing altogether, right? So I'm going to take y'all through my first trade during the Asian session. I should have never been trading the Asian session, but I thought the market was going to go down. So I was getting chopped all through here, right? I was down about $100 just to start from getting chopped up all through here. We eventually came down, swept some liquidity, started to come back up. I thought that this was going to be like a little fake out to sweep this little equal highs up here. So I was getting in for a sell about right up in here. It's getting in for a sell. And then, you know, the market started to take off without me. And honestly, you guys, it went up against me a lot, came back down. But this is when I should have knew to get out the trade, because I tell you guys about breakaway gaps literally all the time. I talk about breakaway gaps. And, you know, if I would have got out the trade and just got right back in the trade, I would have been in profits. But instead, I decided to just be emotional and just be mad at the world and just take the loss, right? So that's how it ended up happening for the Asian session range. And then I believe right up in here, let me see. This is New York. I'm sorry, this is London. I can't even remember. Oh, actually, I do remember the trade I took in London, right? So this was the trade I took in London. I actually had a really good trade for London, you guys. Really good trade for London, right? I believe I was taking, I got to look at the time so I can remember. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, it was this trade in here, right? It was this trade in here. We had the market had came back down here, broke below the midnight opening price, right? And then, wait, this is Monday? What is this? Am I looking at the wrong data? I wonder why this is looking kind of different for me, right? I'm looking at the wrong data. All right. Wednesday. All right, sorry about that, you guys. It's going to actually look the same, believe it or not, for London session, because I got chopped up so bad. And not London, but the Asian session range. So let me find that for you guys. All right, screw the Asian session trade. This was the trade I took right in here, right? This was the trade I took right in here. I remember it because obviously this was the trade. And if I would have just held on to this trade, you guys, I honestly could have been green on the day and just caught it. I was taking this trade right here. I had my stop loss in here, right? I had my stop loss in there like this, right? Breakaway gap. I always tell you guys, look out for the breakaway gaps. So I had my stop loss in here. Well, actually, I think I started my stop loss right here, and then I moved it up to here, right? Once I found out that it was a breakaway gap that was respected. And then I only ended up selling like pretty much right here. No, matter of fact, I take it back. no, my entries was super low. Now that I remember, my entries was super good, and I ended up selling like right there. So I didn't really take much on that trade, but after you lose and it's just a bad day, I just was like, screw it, I'm closing out. As you guys can see the time, it was about 6:15 a.m. I normally don't even trade this time, and that's just showing you guys how the lack of discipline was at its all-time high today. But if I would have held this trade to market open, as you guys can see, it would have went exactly where I thought it was going to go, at least targeting these highs up here, and that would have had, that would have been really good. But obviously I didn't hold it because, I was truck driving, and I had just got done truck driving, and I was like, man, I really don't feel like, losing sleep over this trade. Even though we had the breakaway gap and everything else, I was at this point, I'm like, man, I got to lock a profit in just to get myself back on the right track. Then I literally woke up at around 9:30, right? I woke up at 9:30 to start trading, and that's when I seen that we had this 8:30 gap right here. And if I would have held that trade, that we would have been in profits, right? So during the 9:30 open, right? During the 9:30 open, I was looking for sales pretty much all day, you guys. I was looking for sales pretty much all day, right? And this was the first one I took right up in here. We are on a 5-minute chart, and I took this sell because we had a breakaway gap right here, and as the market climbed back up, I was pretty much put my stop loss right there, and I did get a really quick profit. Like, it literally spiked me. I was I was up about $300-400 on both of my accounts. But then, as you guys can see from the chart, right, quickly as it gave me profits, it took it right back. Didn't even really give me a chance to get out or anything like that. We broke below that midnight opening price, and then we just spiked back up, right? So then right in here, the market literally chopped around for like almost hour and a half or so. And then right up in here, this is a, I believe it's a 1 hour order block, right? Well, actually it's right here. This is a 5-minute order block. I'm as you guys can see, I'm tired. I'm trying to do this video, keep up with everything. It's a busy life, but I'm not making no excuses. So, drop a like on this video at the very least. It will definitely make me feel a lot better. So, we're tapping up into this 5-minute order block. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. At this time, I don't even trust myself no more. I don't even trust myself. So I missed. Well, I'm not going to say I missed it, but I did take the trade. Didn't get a really good entry. I got in like somewhere down here. Right? I got in somewhere down here. And I was using this breakaway gap for my stop loss. So as you guys can see, I was in some good trades, but after, I was getting faked out and I was getting chopped up, and I just couldn't hold on, right? So right here, I was in a good trade. I really wanted to hold this down forever and ever, but just look at how choppy this is. I mean, even if I would have held it, I mean, look at how it comes back, take away all of your profits right there. I probably would have never held through that, especially having the type of day that I was having. But I mean, it was just breakaway gaps literally everywhere on this chart. And then even right here, this was around 1 p.m. Another pullback right into this first presented fair value gap. That's what this little box is on my chart right here. We had a first presented fair value gap, pulls back. At this point, I don't know if we're going to keep going up to sweep out liquidity or what. So, I was still thinking sales, but at this point, I just couldn't even trust myself because, like, not even lying to you guys, it felt like every time I was in a trade, I was in profits for like maybe a minute or two, and then it was going right back against me. So I was like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. And the type of trader I am, I cut losses quick anyways, but especially when I'm already in the red, And I think at this point, I was already in the red about like maybe 1,000 on my E8 markets account, and probably about, I don't know, maybe 600 or 700 on my Alpha Capital account. So that's a lot, I was already considering just being done on the day, which I kind of sort of wish I would have did, but, it all worked itself back out. But I wish I would have got in this trade right here, because this is like textbook for me, because I can still, right, even if I didn't know if it was going to go back up or not, I could have just got in right there, right? And then even if I'm targeting these lows that wasn't hit, that's still a good almost 2-to-1 risk to reward, right? But my target, I was targeting something way lower. And if we go to the 1 hour, you guys can see what I really wanted to target. We had this 1 hour order block right here. And then on the 4 hour time frame, right, we had a 4 hour gap right up in here. So I was trying to at least target this. But, you know, the market had fully exhausted me by this point, you guys. I just couldn't even trust anything. I couldn't hold on to anything. So that's what I was honestly just trying to target. But as you guys can see, even in here, right, like look at this. We drop down and then price starts pulling back and being all choppy. I don't like that type of price action personally. I don't like to sit through that type of price action. Remember, this is a 5-minute chart. So after this drops down in 20 minutes, it gives you the next 25 to 30 minutes of just choppiness. So, right, so I don't really care for that type of price action. And, you know, by this point, I was down bad on the day. I'm not going to lie. The next trade that I took was I took a trade off of 4 hour order block, right? 4 hour order block right here. I was looking at this, right? Price comes down and hit the top of it, right? So 23,843, I'm going to drop back into the 1 minute so I can show you guys. I literally caught a wick entry on this trade, and that's what made it so painful because I got faked out once again. I mean, literally, like, show you guys where I was getting in. I literally got in right here, right? So right as we dipped below the midnight opening price, I was getting in. I'm talking about no drawdown on this trade, right? Had the breakaway gaps and everything. So this was looking like super sexy to me. I'm like, man, this is really nice. I did move my stop. Well, actually, no, I didn't move my stop losses up, so that was horrible, right? So market comes down, drop below the midnight opening range, goes up, and then it starts to treat this 4 hour fair value gap as resistance now. So in real time, I'm not even gonna lie, I wasn't even watching this trade because I was that confident in it. I was like, man, I got what I need, right? It's about 3 p.m., right? This is the last hour of the day. I'm like, market looks like it's ready to take off. I'm not even going to watch it because if I watch it, I'm probably going to be very tempted to take profits way too soon, right? So I'm trying to give myself some time. Not only did we bounce back and hit this 4 hour fair value gap, we got 2 1 minute order blocks right there as well. And then price eventually came down and stopped me out of my trade. So that was horrible because if I didn't take that loss, you guys, I would have been green on the day. This is no lie. If I did not take that loss, I would have been green on the day. But it's all good. We're just gonna bounce back, right? So this was the last trade that I was taking right here, you guys. And I was taking this from the 1 hour time frame. Looking at this order block right here. I pretty much put my stop loss right below here. And as the market came down, I was entering right here at the lows. I was entering at the lows. And the reason why I want to show you guys that is because even though I put my stop loss right there, I did eventually. Oh, you know what? Oh, man. This is actually another trade where I got faked out. Believe it or not, this is crazy, right? So I have my stop loss down there. Price starts to go up. It's flying. As you guys can see, it's flying up. So I'm happy. I was up about... I think I was up about 1,000 on my E8, and then I was up about maybe 600 on my Alpha Capital account. But the thing is, at first I moved my stop loss below this order block, right? So once we got above here, I moved it below here, and then, right, as the price kept ripping up higher and higher, I'm thinking it's no way it's going to want to come back down, right? As you guys can see, if I would have kept it below this order block, my position would have been safe. I would have never got stopped out. But, you know, I had to protect my position because I had got faked out literally. I'm talking about every trade I got faked out today. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to jam this baby a little bit higher. So I jammed it about right here where this little baby gap at. You can barely even see it. And then, of course, like literally as soon as I moved my stop loss, market comes down to take me out. Drops down and but here hits the first presented fair value gap, starts to fly off again, right? So I did on my Alpha Capital Phase 2, I did make like literally after being up like 700, I only made like $20 on that trade. Got stopped out, and then on my E8 account, which ended up hurting me the most because I was up like 1,000 on that account. At the time, I was only down like maybe 1,400. So that 1,000, I wish I would have just locked it in if I would have knew what I knew now. But it's all good because I ended up being down like 3,200 on my one step E8 account, right? So after I got stopped out, I ended up taking a small loss. It was only for like maybe I lost like 200 or 300, so it wasn't that bad. And then the market literally starts to fly, right? So it literally starts to fly up in here, and then right as it's flying up, I'm just getting right back in, right? So I'm entering like right up in here because I already can feel that this is going to become a breakaway gap. So I know as soon as it keeps going, I was going to move my stop losses right here, literally. And that's what I did, right? So that was my last trade. I got right back in after getting faked out a million different times. And then I rolled this baby up. And that is how, I pretty much was able to mitigate some of my losses. So what I want to talk about today, is, you guys, is pretty much this is what happens when you don't follow your plan, when you don't follow your rules. You end up spiraling out of control. I have been a victim of it way too many times before, so I know this all too well, you guys, and it's something that I hate to even talk about and admit to. I'm not perfect, and but this is why I also do not like trailing drawdowns. I really don't even like end of day drawdowns that much either, because you end up losing so much just from having a red day, right? Because with the trailing drawdown and the end of day drawdown, everything is dependent on, if you how much are you losing, and one big losing day can really change a lot. Like, for example, on my one step E8 account, I have 4% that I could risk. Now I only have 3.3%. That's a significant difference. That's almost a whole percent. But the account itself is literally break even, right? So I'm not even down on the account, but my drawdown has been affected dramatically. Versus on my Alpha Capital account, which is the traditional two-step account, I was up like 1,100. I lost like 1,100. I'm back to break even on that account as well. When the day resets, I'm still going to have my 5% to risk, right? So that's the reason why I like the traditional two-step accounts a lot better than a lot of these like futures. I'm pretty much at this point, I'm not even going to lie, like I'm pretty much giving up on futures at this point because it's just exhausting for me, man. I'm talking about you really have to be disciplined and consistent when you're trading those futures account, right? So even this run right here is a bit unfortunate because I really wanted more out of this run. I really wanted to at least get back up in here, but obviously nothing can happen for me today. It's just one of those days where nothing really happens for me. So it's all good. We're gonna bounce back. I'm telling you guys, we're gonna bounce back. We're gonna get this account funded. And even if we don't get it funded, if we blow this account, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't define me as a trader. If you guys are still blowing accounts, that doesn't define you as a trader as well. You just have to really learn how to lock in and be consistent day in and day out. And days where you're not feeling, up to the challenge, take a day off. I wish I would have taken a day off today because I was working, I was distracted, I was tired. I ended up crashing out, spiraling out of control. These are all things that I'm pretty sure that, we all can relate to. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, when you're dealing with these type of losses, you just have to learn how to bounce back. That's one of the biggest things. Some people take breaks. Me, what I do to bounce back is just go back to following my plan, right? Go back to following my plan. Stop over leveraging. Stop risking too much. All of that good old stuff, right? Stop trading London. Stop trading Asian session. Don't trade as soon as the bell rings. All of that good old stuff, right? So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure y'all drop a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on that bell so you can be notified whenever we, post something. I post all of my trades on my community tab. And, obviously I'm trying to give you guys some good content as well. And also, if you guys are going to go check out Alpha Capital, Funder Pro, or E8 Markets, I am affiliated with other prop firms as well, but those are the main three that you're going to hear me talking about, because me personally, those are the main three that I like the most, right? It's not that I don't like other prop firm companies like Top Step or Apex. Those companies are great as well, but I pretty much talk from a standpoint of like more so not even just a beginner trader, but what I believe is the most fairest account in the market. And I believe that to be the two-step account, right? Even the three-step account is pretty fair, and those are pretty affordable. Nobody talk about those. I'm going to be doing some more videos on those as well. But yeah, I just don't like those futures accounts, man. And I have done them. I have done them, you guys. I've passed 300K Apex accounts. For those of you who do not know how hard that is tough to do, you know. And I did it with no help. So if you guys are going to go and purchase any prop firms, even if it is with a company like Apex or Trade Day, make sure y'all use my code TRUCKIN and register. The link is going to be down in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next video, man. Peace out.